camera. Please make sure you get my right side. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the last demonstration for the year. Certainly not the last demonstration ever, but we've made some great inroads this year. We've had some great demonstrations, and we've brought some important issues to the light of state government. We have forced Ted Baillieu to put an inquiry into the mental health system, which we reject. We want a royal commission into the mental health system in the state of Victoria. But first, ladies and gentlemen, I want to put you onto the man who's leading us today. Put your hands together for Greg Oak, ladies and gentlemen.
It's great to see so many people here today at such a busy time of the year with so much going on in the Victorian, in the state of Victoria. Well, welcome to Ted Baillieu's police state. I want to acknowledge the traditional owners of this land, the Wurundjeri people, their elders past and present, and this land was never ceded. This is Aboriginal land, always was and always will be. In my view, the Victorian mental health system is badly broken. Two great journalists have been exposing this Victorian mental health system for exactly what it is. It is the killing fields of Australia. 975 deaths between 2006-10, the 4 years. We're waiting for the Office of the Chief Psychiatrist to release the latest figures on the kill rate for 2010-2011. Just last week I received some figures about the rates of electroconvulsive therapy in this state. What was really disturbing, 1,750 people were given ECT in Victoria in 2010. 1/3 of these people were given it without their consent. Any treatment that is not elective and is not made with free choice is forced treatment. This is wrong. What was really disturbing, the youngest person that was given ECT in this state was 13 years old. There was 104 treatments of electroconvulsive treatment given to people of over 90 years of age. In my view, this is clearly just medical experimentation by people who there is no effective checks on what these doctors and psychiatrists are doing. What are these 90-year-old people in these aged care homes sleeping around? Are they out partying up? What are they doing? This is just social control. Who's giving consent for them? This is unconscionable. It has to stop. If people want to have ECT and it's of their free and informed choice, I'm okay with that. That's okay. But to have it forced upon you is just, as I say, unconscionable. What we're doing in the Australian Mental Health and Human Rights and Law Reform Coalition is bringing this to the public's attention. As Kelvin said, we want a royal commission into mental health and hold these people that are responsible for the carnage, the genocide that's happening in mental health in Victoria, and particularly against Aboriginal Australians, particularly from people from non-English speaking backgrounds. And particularly from people from lower socio-economic groups. We want these people to be free from cruel, inhuman, degrading treatment. We're supposed to have laws to protect us in this state. The Baillieu government is clearly trying to dismantle the only real protections that mental health consumers have got in this state. They're trying to dismantle the Victorian Charter of Human Rights and Responsibilities Act. Don't let them do it. Let's make sure we maintain this charter, which does protect people from disenfranchised communities, from marginalised communities, and from people living in poverty. Great to see you all here. There were some articles in the paper on Wednesday. There's more coming out next week. This will blow the socks off this state, and certainly hopefully get Ted Bailey to reconsider the appointment of Ruth Vine, from the Office of the Chief Psychiatrist, to investigate herself. The majority of these deaths have happened during her reign. We want a full independent inquiry into this stuff. We will accept nothing less. One of the articles in the paper last Wednesday was for a guy, his name was Freddie Williamson. I worked with Fred for 10 months. His death was hideous. The Victorian police have memorandums of understandings with our mental health services. They're not properly investigating any of these deaths, any of these critical incidents, any complaints from mental health consumers, whether they be rapes, whether they be assault by staffs. This is not on. We need an independent body to investigate of the police, a special investigative unit set up with the homicide squad. People who have seen these incidents where people have died in psychiatric units across the state, that witness this is mental health consumers, are not even being interviewed when they've seen what's happened. This is unconscionable, it's unforgivable, and it's unacceptable. We will keep coming out and fighting for these people's rights. We won't let others like Freddie Williamson die. We will not let his family go through the trauma where the police Freddie Williamson died in 2008. As far as I know, the police still haven't spoken to his family or really interviewed the people that are out at the Austin. I'm thinking of you, Freddie, and this is a poem that I hope will speak for the people like the Freddie Williamsons. The person that will die in the next 2 days. In every second day, there's another one of these deaths that are classified by the Office of the Chief Psychiatrist as unnatural, unexpected, or violent. Anyhow, it's called You Carry With You a Special Flame. You may have been diagnosed with a mental illness, but you are not an illness. You are a human being whose life is precious and is of infinite value. You are precious and good. You are not trash to be discarded or a broken object that needs to be fixed. You are not insane. You do not belong in institutions for the rest of your life. You don't belong on the streets. You are a human being. You carry within you a special flame, a spark of the divine. You are born to love and to be loved. That's your birthright. Mental illness cannot take that away from you. Nobody can take that away from you. We're not going to let it happen. We're going to keep fighting this. We're going to make everybody that is responsible for these things that are happening to amazing and extraordinary people. We're going to dispel the myths that people experiencing mental health issues are violent people. In fact, we all know they're more likely to have violence perpetrated against them. Let's just stop this, what's happening. Let's see people treated with great dignity and respect and as equals. Thanks for your time. Thanks for coming here. I'm going to hand you over back to Kelvin, Onus-King, who hopefully will be the next Lord Mayor of Melbourne instead of that wanker, Robert Doyle.
Vote for Kelvin! Thank you very much for that, Greg, but we're going to have to do some negotiations before I actually throw my hat in the ring for that job. We've got some really fantastic speakers here today, ladies and gentlemen, and our first speaker today is a person that we've known for a long time. He's an author, a psychiatric survivor. Please put your hands together for David Webb, ladies and gentlemen.
Hello everyone. I didn't realise I was first up. Look, I too would like to acknowledge the traditional owners of this land and pay my respects to their elders past and present. Most of you... Cheers, mate. Look, most of you don't really know me, but for about the last 10 or 12 years I've been working mainly around the issue of suicide. And as well as being a suicide attempt survivor myself, through this work I've come to the conclusion, to me it's very clear, that our mental health system, including our mental health laws, are contributing to the suicide toll rather than reducing it. So if we want to reduce the suicide toll, we really must begin at the beginning, repeal our mental health laws, abolish psychiatric force, and start to build a mental health system that actually cares for people rather than perpetrates violence against them. So I'm really excited to see this movement, this coalition emerging here in Australia, and I congratulate the organisers of today's rally. Great work that they've been doing for some time to get this together, and as Greg says, this is really just the beginning. It's a small group today. I think it's going to grow and grow and grow. Because one thing I wanted to let you know about that you might not be familiar with, there's these great t-shirts here, but I've also chosen to wear my WNUSP t-shirt. That stands for the World Network of Users and Survivors of Psychiatry. There is a global movement calling for the abolition of psychiatric force. It's gaining momentum. This snowball is going to become an avalanche. It cannot be stopped. It's just not happening as quickly as impatient buggers like me would like, but it's definitely coming, and now it's arrived on the streets of Melbourne, and it's so exciting to see it happening. In terms of what's happening here right now in Victoria, it's really only through the efforts of people like Greg and all the team in the coalition that the Premier had to call for an inquiry into what's now been revealed has been going on in our mental health system for years. But it's almost comical, if it wasn't so tragic, for that inquiry to be conducted by the chief psychiatrist. It's like the police investigating the police. I mean, this is that Greg said, the chief psychiatrist, most of this occurred during the time that she was chief psychiatrist, and Ruth Fine, prior to that, she was the director of the mental health branch in the Department of Human Services. She is part of what needs to be investigated, and yet the Premier has given it to her to conduct this investigation. It's an extreme folly. It has to be a genuinely independent Royal Commission to really bring the full truth out and expose what's really going on. It's the first step that needs to be taken to put an end to it and to start building a mental health system that we really need. Look, the final comment I'd like to make is, just in this last week, I've been in communication with people in the UK and the US who are talking about initiating a process for a global call on psychiatry for an apology. And we're looking at the tradition that we've seen in South Africa, here in Australia. You know, when it comes to human rights, who are the experts in Australia? It's Aboriginal people. They know human rights better than anybody. And we've seen the reconciliation process here and the call for apology, what a struggle it was to get the apology. We got the apology, but we now know there's still so much work to be done, but the apology remains important. This is, to me, real inspiration, but there is now a global call going out for an apology for the violence and abuses that have occurred in mental health systems around the world. So I thought I'd bring you that little bit of news just to know that this small group is part of a global campaign to see the end of psychiatric violence, so that we can start to build mental health systems that will genuinely help people during times of difficulty. Thank you all for coming. It's great to be part of it. Congratulations for making this event possible. Cheers.
I told you it was good, didn't I? Eh? Bloody beauty. Thanks, David. Have a good Christmas, brother. Now, mental health and art are very closely related. And we're lucky to have today a true artist in Jake here. And it's quite rare for artists of Jake's calibre to actually care about human rights, to care about human beings, and to care about social justice issues. There are many artists throughout the world that are like that, but none other than like our very own Jake here, who does it every time we have a demo. Put your hands together for the great Jake Hapeta.
Thanks, Kelvin. Yeah, I'd like to acknowledge the Wurundjeri, traditional owners of this country, the Kulin language nation. I just want to talk a little bit about the human rights act that the state government's got under review at the moment. It's very much hand in hand with the review on the mental health system. They've got a committee that they've voted, that they've started up. It's called the SARC committee. It's Scrutiny and Acts Commission committee, and we went off to their meeting a few weeks ago and found out that this committee that's made up of mainly lawyers, politicians, and other various vested interests like miners, forestry, and entrepreneurs that are trying to get development going around the state of Victoria. The Human Rights Act was enacted, I think it was 2006, wasn't it, Greg? And so it's been going for, well, 5 years, and already they've figured out that along with the Human Rights Commission, they have to actually have some laws that support it. So of course they're moving to get rid of the whole thing. There were 3 major recommendations from the SARC committee, and basically all of them involved a toning down of the commission or the repeal of the commission. One of the things that when you gain human rights under the Mental Health Act, you gain human rights under the Native Title Act, you gain human rights under housing, under law, under all kinds of acts that they have to support. And of course, when they've figured that out, they've decided they have to get rid of it at all costs. So that's an ongoing thing at the moment, and I stand by this committee's act on trying to get value to have a Royal Commission into the Mental Health Act. I've lost a lot of friends over the years. I won't say their names, but I lost a lot of friends over the years. And we're all being treated under the mental health system. And it's not what people deserve. And this committee has adopted Kutch Edwards' song, Is This What We Deserve? So I'll start with that one today, eh? Time began. Our ancestors' footsteps lie buried in the sand. We are the caretaker of this ancient land. They don't understand. Is this what we deserve? Is this what we deserve? Is this what we deserve? We're asking, is this what we deserve? Well, their laws are so unjustified, 'cause our basic human rights have been denied.
peoples claim their hands are tied. They go on committing genocide. Is this what we deserve? Is this what we deserve? Is this what we deserve? I'm asking, is this what we deserve? Well, we just keep on trying while our children, they just keep on crying. And our own people, sadly, they keep dying. Those bureaucrats keep lying. Is this what we deserve? Is this what we deserve? Is this what we deserve? I'm asking, is this what we deserve? Is this what we deserve? Our families keep on crying. Is this what we deserve?